Hello guys, welcome back to BoreDraw. This is episode number 4, we believe, of the World Cup series.
Doesn't matter now.
Yeah, nothing really matters anymore, does it?
Game's gone.
Yeah, I mean, are you even going to watch the World Cup anymore?
So it's on, well, it's about to be on as we speak.
About 25 minutes.
Argentina versus Croatia game. But yeah, that's not what we're here to talk about. We are here to talk about what was quite an anticlimactic / disappointing /
Heartbreaking
/ maybe there were some positives kind of weekend.
No, this weekend was purely negative, and
QPR had a stinker as well.
We had a stinker.
Luke's fuming.
We got a new manager though, so you know, I mean, it's been a depressing weekend for football, for me in particular, for everyone, I guess. But not if you're French, you've done very well to get through. Are we kicking this off? Do you want to? What's the first topic on the agenda, Roz?
So we're here to talk about England-France. We gave our kind of pre-game thoughts on how England would beat the mighty French, Le Bleu, and I think we put up a good game, and we'll dive into the game in general in a second. But now we're here to give our thoughts on England exiting the World Cup at the quarter-final stage against France. So we'll start on the match as a whole, and then we'll look further into England at the World Cup in general.
The match as a whole, we were the better side.
Yes.
We were the more proactive side in terms of pushing for chances. I think we controlled the game very well. We did what we wanted to do in keeping Mbappe quiet. Yep. I think our failure to win the game came due to a lack of control in the middle of the pitch. And
which is weird, because we thought that was the area that, out of all the areas, we'd be the best in.
Yeah, I agree. I think ultimately this game came down to a lack of proactive substitutions. I think
Gareth,
obviously
he's looking at you, mate.
We started off the game and it wasn't too bad. And then about what minute was it? It was about 13th minute or something.
Yeah.
Tuchemeni obviously scores that screamer.
Should we talk about Jordan Pickford? Do you think he should have done better?
I don't know. It was hit hard and it was hit true, and so I feel like.
So Ben Foster on his podcast, obviously. So we don't play in goal, so we have no idea. But obviously, coming from Ben Foster, a Premier League seasoned goalkeeper, said Pickford's got to get there, and
I've seen him pull off harder saves.
Yeah, no, 100%. And that's always my problem with Jordan Pickford, though, is the ones that are instinct, the ones that he doesn't have to think about, he'll save. But I don't think he's actually that good a goalkeeper. He's kind of like Hugo Lloris in that sense, where Hugo Lloris, this game, had an outrageous game. And it's because of a lot of stuff that was just instinctual. If you rely on him to be a good goalkeeper, I don't think he's there. And I think that's like Pickford as well.
And this is a shame. If it was Ramsdale in goal, he would have saved it.
Yeah, 100.
I agree.
100.
I agree. But the problem is, I don't think this is a big enough of a blunder for Southgate, if he's still in the job, to look past Pickford and to look at maybe bringing in Ramsdale or something like that. But
that was one of my
I mean, the thing is, Tuchemeni gets the ball into him and he gets it out of his feet really quickly and hits the strike, and I think it takes everyone a bit by surprise.
Yeah, big time.
But I mean, maybe he could have been positioned better. Maybe he should have reached it. He's known for sort of like flapping at like crosses and corners and stuff like that.
And he's known for having tiny arms as well.
That's what I mean. Comes hand in hand. His hands are closer to his chest than most people. But I don't know. I don't particularly blame him. I think Tuchemeni could have been closed down quicker. Mm-hmm. I think the ball into him could have been cut off. I think that's a position where if we had someone like Calvin Phillips on the pitch, that wouldn't have been allowed to happen. We would have had a bit more energy and a bit more robustness in that midfield.
I'll back that. So
for me, the first thing that happens is we go 1-0 down. We do really well to respond. We're on the up. And I was actually watching the game thinking this isn't the worst thing that happened. That worst thing can happen, because you watch the Italy game where we go 1-0 up early on.
Exactly, point up, yeah.
And we sit back and we absorb pressure. And you just know at some point these teams have the quality. They're going to get the chances if you give them to them.
Yep.
And they're going to take one of them. So I actually thought maybe this isn't the worst thing. Obviously you don't want to concede at all, but
it gives you the impetus to take the game by the scruff of the neck.
And we've seen England in games where they sort of start on the back foot. If they don't go that goal behind, they do tend to grow into the game and become the dominant force.
Yeah.
Albeit against like a much weaker Senegal side in comparison to France. But yeah, for me, this game is lost in the lack of proactivity from Gareth Southgate. I think 45 minutes in, you can clearly see that Henderson wasn't having the impact on the game that he had against Senegal, and that we were basically playing with 10 men. And do you know what? It's not a fault of Jordan Henderson's, really. I just don't think this game was laid there for him to be a part of. And I think we would have done much better having either someone who can a bit more technical ability in terms of like their pass range in the likes of Maddison coming on. I think that would have caused France a lot more issues. Someone like Mason Mount even to bring in a bit more energy. I think we weren't actually on the back foot defensively a lot of the time, and maybe that is to the gratitude of Jordan Henderson, because maybe him being there did keep Jude in better positions to cut off passes later, things like that. But I think, yeah, someone like Phillips even coming on would have given us a bit more attacking freedom. I think we were just playing with like half a man in Henderson, and that's not me slating him, because I don't think he actually performed terribly, but I do not think this was the game for him. And it goes back to it. Gareth Southgate, he's a reactive manager. You're bringing on Jack Grealish in the 96th minute.
Yeah, it's a joke.
Like, you're taking off Saka, who should have won us like just an abundance of fouls.
Yeah.
We haven't got the referee down as one of the topics, but I'm sure we'll allude to it.
He stank.
But yeah, I mean, that's my opinion on the first 45 anyway. The second 45 is a bit of a different story. But yeah, what do you think?
No, I agree with pretty much everything you said in the terms of we were the better team. Probably for the first 15, I'd give it to France, but post the goal, like you said, we had the impetus. Yeah, I think there was a lot of good things we did this game. Kept Mbappe quiet. Luke Shaw was troubled a bit by Dembele, but that was always to be the case, because I think a lot of what France do well is isolate the poor fullback, be it Mbappe against a poor fullback or Dembele against a poor fullback, and our poor fullback is Luke Shaw. So I think he did all right for his role. But yeah, for me, where this game went wrong, like you said, it's Gareth Southgate not being proactive enough, but I think we all knew that was going to be the case. I think we were also let down by the referee, and then also in moments by players that are claimed to be world-class players.
I know exactly who he's talking about right now. So
I'm talking about you, Phil Foden.
Are you?
No, I'm talking about Harry Kane, and I'm talking about Phil Foden. I think both of them, on the biggest stage for England, in my opinion, humble opinion, haven't delivered anywhere near. So, in my opinion, they are England's two most talented players currently.
They had the highest ceiling. We know exactly what they can do. They fit into the world-class bracket.
Yeah, they're the best players England have got, both of them. And they're getting outshone by a 21-year-old Bukayo Saka and a 19-year-old Jude Bellingham. When I think Harry Kane, what is he, 27, 28? Tottenham, not
29,
Tottenham captain,
isn't he?
Been at Tottenham forever.
Yeah.
He should be their captain. I don't know how Hugo Lloris is a Tottenham captain. He's the England captain. This is his fourth major tournament for England. I don't think he's ever dropped an 8 out of 10 game for England.
Especially not against a team where it actually mattered.
Yeah. And then Phil, I don't want to dig you out because I love Phil. Almost as much as I love Bukayo.
I feel him.
But Phil Foden just doesn't do it for me for England. So we said this on the preview about this game, that we haven't as a country played 4 at the back enough, and definitely haven't played 4 at the back with a floating 10 enough. So that isn't Phil's fault that he's never had the opportunity to play in that position. But shoehorning him into a wide position just isn't the one. He is so ineffective there. Why he's effective there for City is because he's allowed to roam inside.
City don't
De
play.
Bruyne will split out to the sides. Yeah. They have pretty much the 3 like wide 10s, and then the central 10 for City, they all just move around.
Well, you think
we don't
about
do
it
that
as
for
well.
England.
Like, he's got João Cancelo sometimes up on the left-hand side with him.
Exactly.
You're not going to get that same sort of support from Luke Shaw in terms of going forward. And then you've got people like Kevin De Bruyne, you've got Bernardo Silva, even someone like Ilkay Gundogan in the middle, being able to supplement you. So, like, Phil makes a run into space here. The only person in that midfield that's going to be picking him out is Jude Bellingham.
Yeah.
That's why we need someone like James Maddison, because he'll be able to switch on and be like, that's the run I would make. so I can fulfill that for you.
Yeah. And so for me, either we play with that floating 10 and it's Phil, or Phil doesn't get in the team at all. As sad as that is to say. Because like I said, he is our most technically gifted player. But for me, someone like Rashford would have done so much better on...
Cause more problems. 100%.
So many more problems. He was in form as well, along with Bukayo, the most goals for England.
Someone like Grealish as well.
Even Grealish offers more out wide. Even, I don't rate Mason Mount like that, but I'd play him out wide before I play Phil Foden out there.
Raheem Sterling.
Another thing that pissed me off about Southgate, why is he bringing Sterling on? Sterling hasn't been in the country for like a week. He's obviously dealing with family stuff. Southgate even came out and said he's definitely not starting because he hasn't trained with us. He doesn't know our tactical plan for this game. So why bring him on?
I think it just goes back to the points we reverberated, especially after our Nations League episode where we spoke about Southgate and about us going into the World Cup. And he falls back on these favourite players. And so the only one of his favourites that I think had a shining tournament was maybe Harry Maguire. And even then, he was good, but it wasn't outstanding. I think it looks outstanding coming like from where he's come from.
Yeah, 100%.
And everyone expected him to be the core of England's mistakes and an absolute flop. And he was very solid for the most part alongside John Stones.
Yeah.
But yeah, you look at someone like Pickford, he's pulled off an amazing, unbelievable save in the Senegal game, which like sort of switched the momentum of that entire like first 15 minutes.
Yeah. And
he's pulled it off time and time again for England. I wouldn't be so mad if he was still our number one keeper going into sort of the next Euros or whatever.
I think we've got to move on from him.
But maybe it is time for a change, maybe not just in manager, but a change into facilitating our best players to be in their best positions.
100% agree. I think it's... So we've kind of gone in this kind of stream of progression where Gareth got the semis and Gareth got the final. And so as polarising as Gareth Southgate is as a figure, to even the untrained eye, you could see progression. And even though he went out in the quarters, you can still say there's definitely progression.
100% progression.
But I tweeted this from our account earlier. You can only stick with a manager that is... He's definitely out of his depth in terms of elite level managers.
He's not a tactical manager, is he?
There was Luis Enrique. There was
Didier Deschamps.
There was
Carlos Queiroz.
Who's the bloody Germany manager? Even Hansi Flick.
Yeah.
So there's elite managers here that, given time, will take their nations to trophies. But Gareth Southgate doesn't have that track record, and I understand why people now are on his neck. And I think it's time where, like, because we're definitely sitting on a golden generation of players, and especially because Harry Kane isn't getting any younger. Like, the rest are in and around 22, 23. But if we want to make use of Harry Kane, we've pretty much only got the next Euros and World Cup.
Even the World Cup is going to be in like 4 years.
Yeah.
And so
do we want to waste this golden generation on Gareth Southgate? And I likened it to Belgium sitting on their golden generation with Roberto Martinez. How they let a team that had Eden Hazard, De Bruyne, Lukaku, all these elite level players, probably arguably more elite level players at that point in time than England have in their team. And they achieved nothing. And I don't want that for England because there's so many talented players that I don't think Gareth Southgate can get the best out of. And that leads into my point that I think it is a time now for a change of the guard. Someone that will play Trent Alexander-Arnold. Someone that will play Phil Foden at a 10. Someone that will, bring Tomori in. Someone that will make substitutions before the 60th minute.
Someone with more progressive ideas and potentially a different outlook on football. For me, under Southgate, and I have nothing but respect for him for what he has done, and he's given me some of the best England moments of my lifetime. But under Southgate, our floor of our team is very high. It's very high floor, but the ceiling isn't much higher. Like, I do not see us reaching the levels of France. Are most likely going to go back-to-back world champions.
Fucked, yeah.
And what really has turned me into more of a Southgate out person, and it's not bitterness that we lost. It's we are very consistently good against the bad teams.
Yes.
Or the not elite teams. And against the elite teams, we're not terrible, but we do not have that grit, and we do not have that. We come into those games mentally on the back foot.
Yeah.
And we need a manager who's going to go into these games with a distinct plan of how we can dominate this game and utilise our best players, because you saw it a lot in this France game. Like you said, Phil Foden, isolated. Harry Kane, a bit isolated as well, having to come so deep for the ball. And the problem is, when you've got players like Bukayo Saka and Phil Foden, they are not built in the same vein as Raheem Sterling, who is going to make runs beyond. They will do it, but they're not those sort of players. They like the ball to feet, and they like to go at their man. Phil Foden likes to do the 1-2s. We've seen it a lot. Him and Jude Bellingham linking up on that left-hand side. We need to utilise these sorts of plays more to our benefit, because every time we get the ball, Harry Kane comes deep, and then maybe one of our midfielders will run on. If the pass isn't there, we go back to our centre-back, or we go back to Rice, and then Rice plays it out to Shaw or Walker, and then it goes over and over and over. And against teams that with a low block, we struggle sometimes, unless we get that early goal and force them to come at us. And it is, it's time for a change. It's time to bring someone else in. The only question is, who?
Who the fuck is that guy?
And so we'll take a little break in a minute, but who was it today? It was Jamie Carragher who tweeted out.
Jamie Carragher tweeted the England manager should always be English.
And I see the sentiment in that, but I couldn't care less, to be honest.
Yeah.
I would rather see England win something with a foreign manager.
100%.
I'd rather see England make more use of this golden generation with a foreign manager, because at the minute, I'm sorry, but the only two English managers that I'd probably look at would be Eddie Howe or Graham Potter.
And
both of them are not moving.
Elite jobs, yeah. So it's
both of them not moving.
It's not going to happen. And I think that's a kind of detriment on English kind of managerial, the situation the FA have kind of allowed to happen, that there isn't many elite level English managers. And on Jeremy Carragher's point, and on what you said, just like, you would always want just a winner, no matter where they're from. If they're going to get you to that trophy, why does it matter where they're from? Would you rather waste this gold generation on Gareth Southgate or another English manager that isn't at the level, when you could get in I don't agree with the idea of Thomas Tuchel. I don't hate the idea, but just throwing him out there as a name. I think
we'd have a better chance of winning something under Thomas Tuchel.
Yeah.
I think
he's definitely more of a winner than Gareth Southgate.
I think I saw a list earlier where there were 4 names for me on that list. Yeah, Tuchel. You had Mauricio Pochettino. Mm-hmm. Then you had Steven Gerrard, which just shouldn't be a thing, and Steve Holland, who I think is the current assistant manager.
Yeah.
Who I actually would rate higher than Gerrard.
I saw talks about Brendan Rodgers.
I wouldn't be mad at that.
Which I wouldn't be mad at.
I wouldn't be mad at that at all, but I think he might be more of a project manager.
Yeah.
And the only thing is, with the international job, you don't get the same time.
Yeah.
So maybe we need to go to someone who's more tactically robust, as opposed to someone who needs time to ingrain their sort of identity onto a team. So someone like Tuchel, who we saw come in and do really well at Chelsea basically off the bat. He's pretty much, his system is his system. It's very simple, but it works, it's effective, and it utilises the best players. But it's a hard one, because until someone comes up who's the perfect fit, Eddie Howe would have been the perfect fit.
Yeah, 100%.
But is Southgate to Tuchel beneficial? Potentially, but only time will tell.
I think the only thing, not the only thing, that's probably a bit of a slam on what he's done for England, but I think the main thing that keeps Southgate in his job is the unity he's created with the players. They all love going on international duty. They're all boys. You can tell they love Southgate. I think every single one of them, pretty much, when they do that token post when they go out of a tournament and they're like, sorry for letting you down, but we'll be better at the next one, blah, blah, blah. They all said, big thank you to the manager. We back you all the way. So you can tell they all fucking love him, which I think is
It's
pretty
key.
much
It's
the
key.
main reason he's still in his job right now, and they haven't done like a Tite and just completely cancelled it straight away, or a Luis Enrique cancelled it straight away.
But you look at a team like Portugal, who have apparently approached Jose Mourinho about managing them as well as managing Roma, which I would love, mate.
That's like football manager shit.
Yeah, man, that's FIFA career mode all over. I like the idea of it. I don't know how well it will work, but I mean, would you
one
rather
elite
have
manager from each country? So Jose manages a
Portugal.
club in a country, and we get like Eddie Howe does Newcastle and England.
Pep doing Spain and Man City?
Yeah, just get every country to do
Klopp
like
with Germany.
their best manager.
Oh,
yeah,
mate.
that'd be scenes.
World Cup, the quality would go up so high.
Anyway,
Insane.
we'll take a break and then we'll do a bit of a rundown on England at the tournament as a whole, our thoughts on some of the players, and then we'll get into
what's coming up. What's still to come. I mean, we've got 5 minutes until the Croatia-Argentina game kicks off. But we're going to be here doing the podcast.
But let us know, quickly, Southgate in, Southgate out. If you want him out, who are we getting him?
Is the gate closing on Southgate? And we are back.
Bosh.
I hope you guys enjoyed your little break. So we're going to discuss sort of the World Cup as a whole now. Sort of what we've seen so far, more specifically England at the World Cup.
Yeah.
Points that were very positive, some things that potentially negative. I guess that's sort of everything in terms of opinion. But yeah.
So, my first question to you, Luke, is how happy were you that we played 4 at the back the entire tournament?
I think we were a much better team for it.
Big
I
time.
think it was a big step in terms of my opinion on Southgate.
Big time, I agree.
But I don't think we actually came up against a team other than France where we would have actually utilised the 5 at the back.
Yeah, that's true.
That being said, though, I think it gave opportunity to players like Jude Bellingham to shine more.
Yep.
Because he can play in a bit more of an advanced role. I don't think he really works too well in the midfield too with Declan Rice.
No, maybe he'll grow into that, but yeah, at the moment,
I think that even then you're asking too much of a single player, especially a player that we want who has such good forward-going talents. I don't think you want to like burden them with that sort of defensive responsibility. Obviously, they still have to do their bit, but if you give them a good foundation in terms of the two behind them, then you sort of got a bit of a 10 in there.
What? Yeah, I kind of agree. I think it depends on how good we see. So I think a lot of it stems from our defence not being... So we said this pre-tournament, England's defence is their weak spot. They've got players in there. So obviously, we said this before, Harry Maguire had probably the best tournament out of all the defenders. And so England's defence is their weak point. And in front of them, they've got Declan Rice, who's still young, but he's probably one of the most elite midfielders in the world. And then Jude Bellingham, who is going to be probably the best midfielder in the world, but still super young. I think we need to get to a stage where, and this will come by the next tournament, where Declan Rice, and I think he proved it in this France game, is elite enough to run that midfield by himself and allow Jude to push forward. Kind of in the sense that, and I'm likening it to Arsenal, where Thomas Partey is now so elite at his role that he can dictate the kind of half space in front of Arsenal's defence by himself and allow Xhaka to do what I think... When Jude Bellingham was on the market, I think he's pretty much going to Liverpool now because he's been inadvertently groomed by Jordan Henderson at the World Cup. But when he was on the market, I was like, if Arsenal sign Jude Bellingham and make him do the Xhaka role, that would be ideal because Xhaka now is doing what I think Jude Bellingham
is best at.
And if we can get that for England, where we've got defenders that are all so solid, so Arsenal have got the best back line in the Premier League statistically, and then in front of them you've got one of the best DMs in the world, and then you allow that other midfielder to do his thing, that could be Jude, and then in front of them you've got a 10 that does what Odegaard does, that could be Phil, and then you've got such an outrageously gifted forward-thinking midfield that are all supported by Declan Rice.
The core.
Exactly that, the core. So if England's core is always going to be Declan Rice is at number 6, 2 centre-backs, I think John Stones is the future for England centre-backs.
I think he is. I think he's far and away
the present,
best
to be
centre-back.
fair. So he can stay, and this leads on to my question about Harry Maguire. He had a really good tournament. Really good. But is he the best we can do? I think not.
I think White. I think Tomori. I don't know who else coming to mind at the
Maybe
minute.
Mark Gahey by the time
I don't know. I don't know if Gay's at that level, but he could still come to be. He's still young, but I don't know. I feel like if you'd put any sort of English centre back in the other role, I think they would have performed just as adequately.
Yeah.
I think sometimes we're watching the England games. Every time Harry Maguire gets the ball and it goes past the halfway line, he just loses all composure of what to do. Like his legs stop working, and he just like,
what am I doing here?
And then he just ends up playing a pass into nowhere, or just like
smashed.
There was one way he was like, was it against Wales, where he was like in the box, and I actually thought his legs were going to give way. Like it was mental. And do you know what? He's had a good tournament,
really good.
and I'm all here for the redemption arc. I'd love to see him get back into that Man United side, and you know, sort of give a big fuck you to all those fans who've turned their back on him. But
he just doesn't fill you with confidence. And if you're gonna play with a midfield three where two of them are pretty much camped out on the edge of the opposition's box, you need a number 6 and 2 centre backs that fill you with so much confidence, not like no shaky thoughts whatsoever. And Declan Rice and John Stones, I can see that. They have like one mistake a tournament, maybe.
I was going to say, even a game, and it's like a shit.
But
it's
Harry
like
Maguire,
a misplaced pass
I
into the
just
midfield.
Couldn't get behind him. And also, if you're playing with that three, the defenders need to be mobile. And he just lacks mobility.
Well, if you look at the back four that we started with, on one side, on the right side, you've got Walker and John Stones, who play for the best team in the world. Most consistent team in the world, the best team, most dangerous team in the world. And then the other side, you've got Luke Shaw, who sort of like doesn't even start for United.
In and out of the United team.
And then you've got Harry Maguire, who's
definitely doesn't start.
Bench warming for United. So you look at that left side, and maybe you look at, I know we can bring Chilwell back in. Haven't really got a lot of like exciting left backs in the sort of like England.
No, it's literally
future.
just Shaw, Chilwell, and maybe Tyreek Mitchell.
Yeah, Tyreek Mitchell even. So, and then you got Harry Maguire, and it's not the most fulfilling. Like we spoke about this before, the football IQ between them. Obviously, they're professional footballers.
And that's what it's all about.
But it is the lack of positioning. It is the lack of forward thinking about where my teammates will be if I make this pass. What am I forcing? What am I going to do to the shape of the opponent if I make this pass out to the wide right? How can I shift the opponent's pressure in a certain area? Do I need to drop back 10 yards? And is this player good enough with his feet to be able to make a pass if I do give him space, or do I need to keep tight to him?
It's 100% that. It's all football IQ these days, and I think what he's getting away with is that Southgate is asking of his whole team not very high IQ footballing tactics.
Which I don't think you need to at a World Cup, because you look at teams like Saudi Arabia, like Iran, like Morocco even, they're not playing like incredible free-flowing football, but they get results.
But you want that for a team as technically talented as England.
Yeah, the ceiling should be higher.
You want them to play football that kind of inspires. And I think with Harry Maguire, there's just always just a question about his football IQ. And I think for me, he should be looking, or whoever the manager is, should be looking at building from the back. And I know that's always been our problem, England, is kind of having like dodgy defenders. But I think once we get like a unit at the back that isn't Harry Maguire and John Stones, that isn't Luke Shaw and Harry Maguire alongside each other, because that is just a recipe for disaster, I think we could be onto something. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think so. Now, obviously, all eyes turn to look into the future. The next tournament, 2024 Euros, and we'll have some players who, well, everyone's going to be 2 years older, but Jude would be 2 years more experienced, probably playing in a Liverpool team. You've got players like Bukayo Saka, who will be playing Champions League football next season. You've got players like Phil Foden, who will be 2 years deeper under Pep.
Let's talk about Bukayo Saka.
Okay, I was going to talk about Harry Kane and how he's old.
Oh, we'll get on to Harry Kane, because I've got a bit of a... Well, actually, I feel like I had a bone to pick with him earlier, and I didn't fully pick that bone clean. But before we get on to Harry Kane, let's talk about Bukayo Saka. I've backed this boy since day one. At the Euros, I said so. He was a little boy at the Euros, and one of our mates, Connor, he didn't back Bukayo at all.
He backed Sancho, didn't he?
He was like, Bukayo Saka is shit. And I was like, shut your mouth. This kid is going to be England's best forward. Watch his space. And I think he is England's best wide forward.
He was England's best attacking player over the course of this tournament.
He is so elite. I think the France L'Equipe came out and said that pre-game, he was the player they were most worried about.
I agree.
And he proved it. He had, Theo Hernandez on strings the whole game. Like you said earlier, he was getting absolutely fucking battered the whole game. The ref did nothing.
Who was it that took his legs out from 3 times in about a second?
Upamecano.
Upamecano.
And then
he
they
had him on road.
scored.
Yeah, I'm not being funny, yeah? Right, no, actually, I'll let you talk about Bukayo for a little bit longer, and then I'm going to get onto the referee.
Okay.
Because I'm about to violate this man.
Let's go. Anyway, Bukayo Saka, long story short, he's England's best wide forward. No one on that right wing offers anywhere close to what Bukayo Saka. His play should never, unless he's injured or he's just in a rotten spell of form, which my baby boy never has a rotten spell of form. He should always be in that starting lineup because he is so good outright. No one does anywhere close. Maybe Rashford, but I'd always have Rashford on the left, I think, anyway.
I think the setup going forward needs to be with Rashford on the left, Foden in the middle in that 10 role, with Saka out on the right. And that is the most dangerous. Even if you look at maybe 4 years from now, maybe Kane, he's got an ankle injury that keeps popping back up. Doesn't always look fit.
Sick of that guy.
And I don't think you can drop him for the next 2 years.
No, probably not.
But maybe playing Rashford in as that central striker and you keep Foden out on the left and you got a bit more of a dynamic front line, a bit more interchangeable. That probably works a bit better for Phil Foden. You saw it with the likes of Gabriel Jesus and Sergio Aguero at City for him. He didn't play too much with Aguero, but it's the same sort of dynamic, bit more mobile striker.
All I'm saying is Bukayo Saka, best England player, maybe barring Jude Bellingham, but I'd say probably Saka was England's best player this tournament. And yeah, I just rate him so highly. And anyone that isn't on the Bukayo Saka wave, fuck off, it's too late to get on the train.
Let's go. I think our next...
Quick question to you then. Who is your best player of the tournament?
Best player of the tournament for me...
England player.
I think I would go for Jude Bellingham.
Yeah,
but I think that's because I've seen Saka week in, week out. I know what he can do.
In your ear for
yeah,
I
know.
Years,
I know what he can do, and I think I was so impressed with Jude Bellingham. And
yeah, agreed.
Even when Kane missed that penalty, he was the first. He literally sprinted over to him, head up, we've got this. And that's the type of player that I want captain my team in the future.
I like that.
I was so impressed with how dynamic he was and just how much of a presence he was in the middle of the field.
His energy as well. He's just running, chasing every loose ball for every minute of the game. I'm like, you're cracked.
And he would literally push man who were 10 years older than him, bigger than him even, and he's just he's bundling past him. He's electric,
outrageous.
And he's a Rolls Royce of midfielder, and
he'll be gone for 150 million. Any team's going to be buzzing. I think it's going to be Liverpool as well. You seen the link with him and Enzo Fernandez?
Yeah,
that is fucked.
That's what they need though, baby. Their midfield is lacking.
Their midfield, we said this is absolutely lacking. That'd be a nice revamp.
But yeah, all right. Let me talk about this referee for a minute. Yeah.
Get him, Luke.
You know when you go to a job interview,
come on,
and they ask you what your qualifications are.
Yeah, talk to me.
And some places will actually ask you to prove it. This man has never refereed anything in his life. He's an imposter. He is without a doubt. And you know what? I'm not gonna blame our loss on the referee, because he gave us that second penalty deservedly. It was a deserved penalty, definitely a penalty. He gave it to us and we missed it. We scored our chance. Sometimes you get shit given for you in football, sometimes you don't. And we got probably half of the amount given to us that we should have had.
Yeah. 100%.
However, it does leave a bitter taste in my mouth because Bukayo Saka was getting manhandled. I've seen less grappling in the UFC, yeah? Paddy Pimblett's fight had less grappling.
Yeah, I heard that was a shambles.
Genuinely, it was an embarrassing.
Saka goes through that every single week as well in the Prem, and no one wants to back it. But now that he's on the international stage, every fan's united in saying Saka just gets shanked.
I think L'Equipe gave him like the lowest ever rating of a referee
like
out of World Cup,
something.
and they are fucking French, brother. Like honestly, it's ridiculous. Even the French knew that they got away with it there, and fair play to them because they are the best team in the tournament. And I think whoever won this game is going to probably go on to win the tournament unless Leo Messi does something magic. But it is shambolic that we get to this level, and it just like no wonder no one wants to be a fucking referee.
Yeah, it's mad.
But like the worst part is we bring in VAR. Yeah, we brought this sort of robotic, clean, scientific thing into our beautiful rustic football game. Yeah, to try and help it bloom, to help it develop, to cut out these clear and obvious errors. Yeah. They are fucking this shit up, yeah? Because honestly, all they are doing is they are drawing lines which show my bell end from my fucking kneecap, yeah? And like putting me offside.
You know what crazies me?
Bro, honestly, they will take fucking... Saka is literally getting like cleaned off the top rope, yeah? And no one gives a shit. What are these man watching in the VAR rooms, man? Are they sat there watching fucking Love Island? It's not even on, mate!
It's happened a couple of times this tournament. Didn't happen in this game. But do you know when they like call an offside for a player and then they like show the line and he looks offside, but then it comes out after the game that they haven't shown every player in the defensive line and they've forgotten like a defender that's on like the byline and he's playing everyone onside and they're like, oh yeah, that was a mistake. We just didn't show everyone in the defensive line. I'm like, how can you not see everyone in the defensive line? That a team has gone and given offside when they're getting played on by a Donny that's not even in camera shot. You should know he's not in camera shot.
People at school, yeah, who get bullied, right? And they go on to become like... Some people are better for it after they come out and they're like... They grow from it and then they become who they are and they're great people. And then some of them just like fall to it and they want to be like a powerful person. So they go and become a policeman or they go and become like a fucking teacher and who just likes to be...
Bouncers are those people.
Bouncer, yeah, fuck them. Honestly... These kids are going to grow up and become the VAR room men, right? Because no one wants to be a referee. Mate, we should just put it to a fucking vote.
And you're out of the firing line if you're in the VAR room. You're just sitting there in your cushy little room. The referee gets all the pelters and you're just sat there like...
Yeah, at least the referee's got some balls to go on the field and make some decisions. You sat there and you're still fucking up, man. You probably get called upon like 6 times a game to actually make something that's actually important happen.
Who's that Nancy ref that they always call up as well? When
Peter Walton.
Peter Walton.
Oh, mate.
Blood!
Mate.
Whenever they're like, so Peter, can you shed some light on the decision? And he's like... Oh, I think the referee got it right. Shut up, Peter. I'm
gonna like get some sort of. I'm gonna get my like Alexa or something to like mute my TV every time they hear the term Peter Walton. Yeah. Because it's absolutely like, and half the time he doesn't know what's going on. So how the fuck is a referee meant to know what's going on?
Honestly, right.
The VAR I
hear in there,
mate. Just fuck VAR. Fuck that referee.
Yeah.
I hope he never refs a game again in his life. Bro, he would fuck up Sunday League, man. They would smash his head in.
So, before we round up England at the tournament, I want to talk to you about Harry Kane. So, Harry Kane, I'm going to ignore the 2016 Euros because he didn't really play and get any goals or anything. But the 2018 World Cup, that was his first major, like, in the starting 11 tournament.
Yep.
And this is the one that everybody kind of harks back to whenever the argument that he hasn't turned up. He's like, oh yeah, but he got the golden boot at Russia. He scored 6 goals, which, yeah, in theory is good. Not even in theory, it is good. 6 goals at a World Cup, bosh, Bob's your uncle, happy days. Right now you'd be leading the race in this World Cup. But when I tell you that 2 goals in that tournament were against Tunisia and 3 goals were against Panama, and the fact that we got to the semi-finals, so he scored 5 goals in our opening 2 games and then scored 1 more in that tournament. And I don't think he dropped, apart from the hat-trick game, but it was against Panama. I feel like I could score a hat-trick against Panama. I think the stats are that he didn't drop like above a 7 rating. Then we go to the 2021 Euros. 4 goals, 0 assists. Okay, that's not bad. But we got to the final. So we played, 7 games? Played a couple of games that went to 120 minutes in an extra time, blah, blah. 4 goals, 0 assists. Is that good? I'd argue not. 2022 World Cup in Qatar. 2 goals, 3 assists. Do you think Harry Kane is not delivering enough? I'm not saying he's not delivering at all, but should he be doing more for England?
I think when we see what he can do, we know the player that he is. Yes, I think he could always deliver more.
You can always deliver more.
I think a lot of people, because he didn't score like in the group stages, like he didn't belt 3 past fucking Wales or whatever, it's a problem. I still think he is our best striker.
He is.
I think he brings more to the team than just his finishing. I think his finishing is elite. I know he missed that penalty. Don't think he should have been given the second penalty. But that's a question for a whole nother day. We could do a whole episode about that. But I mean, how many goals is Mbappe on this? Mbappe is the top scorer in this tournament, right?
5, yeah.
And he's on 5 at the semi-final stage. Mm-hmm. And how many did Harry Kane get in the Euros?
The last Euros?
Yeah.
3 goals. 4 goals.
4 goals. So, I mean, Harry Kane's not quite the level of Mbappe, to be honest.
But should he be doing Mbappe numbers for England? He should be, though.
I think with the players around him, he probably should. And I think under a better manager, he probably would.
Yeah. And my issue is that he is... And obviously, as Harry Kane is a captain, I understand why he doesn't get subbed off. But some games, he should be getting subbed off.
I definitely agree. I think Callum Wilson
would offer more. Move Rashford centrally, he'd offer more.
Play Phil as a false 9, mate. Fuck it up.
Bring Ivan Toney to the tournament. Oh, he's in a betting scandal. But he would offer something off the bench. The fact that he doesn't get subbed off is a hindrance. And like you said, he's getting on. He has like a recurring ankle injury. He shouldn't be playing 90 minute, 120 minute, 90 minute, all in the space of like a week. And so my issue with Harry Kane is, yes, he is England's best striker, best player, and all the other players, whenever I watch like the England camp and shit, they always say, oh, Harry is elite, Harry's the best, blah, blah, blah. And I totally get that. But I don't think he is doing enough for England. I watch him. He goes missing, man, on elite games. And it's been... I don't like Jermaine Genius, but he was on Rio Ferdinand's podcast, talking about who would you rather in your team, Harry Kane or Wayne Rooney. And he said Wayne Rooney every time, elite player. And he said where Harry Kane is a problem is in clutch moments, Harry Kane doesn't deliver. On elite moments, be it the Champions League final against Liverpool, be it whenever they played Chelsea in like a semi-final, be it England, he should have done more in that Italy game to not allow it to go to penalties. In this game, he should have scored his penalty. At elite moments where he should be the guy that gets England through, or gets Tottenham through. The difference maker. He doesn't do it. And that's why Jermaine Genius picked Wayne Rooney. And that's why I'd pick Wayne Rooney. No slight on Harry Kane. I think he is top tier. But, and everyone's like, oh, he's got that Spurs bottler mentality. Banner. I like it. Don't agree with it. But there is evidence that at that elite moment, he doesn't pull you through.
Yeah. But I somewhat go back to the point, and it seems like I'm hating on Southgate, but in the clutch moments, we have failed as a team. Mm-hmm. And if you look at sort of our progression through the World Cups and Euros with Gareth Southgate, anytime we come up against a team with a slight resonance of quality who can prove a problem, we seem to falter. I mean, we didn't really get tested until Croatia in that World Cup. We didn't really we got tested, was it Germany in the Euros, and then the next big test was Italy, and we fell at that hurdle. And so, yeah, I mean, if you're looking at like Belgium in the group stage of the previous World Cup, so like teams with any quality, we seem to have a bit of a mental block against that. We can't come out and play our game. And I think actually out of all the games that we have played against big teams, apart from that Germany game, this is the best performance I've seen of an England team.
Yeah, 100%.
So maybe it is. Maybe we do give Southgate another chance. I don't know. Let us know. But
my last question, and I've seen this debate going around on Twitter. What career would you rather had?
Giroud or Harry Kane?
Giroud or Harry Kane? We'll put it out to you in the chat. Who would you rather be? I know who I would.
I mean, Giroud's won a World Cup.
He's won fucking everything.
He's
Champions
League,
Europa
Premier League. Yeah.
Premier League, everything.
He's won Serie A.
But
Harry
Kane's got a couple of golden boots, mate.
I mean, Giroud is... Yeah, he's literally just overtaken Thierry Henry as France's top ever goal scorer.
So you're saying Giroud as well?
I mean, the thing is, though, what's Giroud, like 34?
Yeah, so there is time for Harry Kane to do more.
So, I mean, for me, the feasible goal for Harry Kane, unless he moves club, is he becomes the Premier League top ever scorer.
Yeah.
And I think, is he already England's top scorer of all time? Or has he got like...
No, yeah,
I think that penalty would have taken him level.
Oh, really? I thought he was already, but yeah.
But yeah, so... I mean, it all depends on how Harry sort of finishes his career. He's got about 6 years to catch up through.
If he finishes his career with no trophy.
I mean, if Harry Kane...
Would that be the biggest ever disappointment
if England ever goes on to... If we go to win the Euros in 2 years and Harry Kane is leading the front line again and he moves to Man City or something... I mean, he's not going to move to City now with Haaland there. If he moves to like fucking Real Madrid or something...
He should come to Arsenal, mate.
I don't think that's ever going to happen, is it?
He's an Arsenal fan.
But...
Refuses to admit it.
But yeah, I mean, that's a tough question. But for now, on the basis of things, I would say Giroud.
Yeah, every day.
But Harry has time to turn it around. Maybe he's going to be aged like a fine wine. We've seen it happen with players like Benzema.
Yeah, true that.
Having the best years of his career sort of towards the tail end. So you never know. Should we wrap this episode up? We're going to talk about just our predictions for the coming games. I mean, the Croatia-Argentina game is on right now. We're about 20 minutes into it. I'll give you a current score update. You'll already know, but it's 20 minutes in and it's a big fat 0-0. But yeah, Croatia versus Argentina. I fancy the Argentinians to do it. Leo Messi, but you can never write off the Croatians, man. They just keep scraping forward.
For me, Croatia are like 2 or 3 games further than they should have been. They're just not lucking it because that's a bit rude.
Vardy has played out of his skin.
There's a lot of like
unreal, like
flip a coin kind of endings to their game, and they're a couple of games further than I think they probably should be. And Argentina, I don't think Argentina have been that great this tournament, and maybe they'll kick on these last 2 games, but I think they'll just have too much. Be it Messi doing like a Messi thing, or Croatia not really offering too much. I think this will be Argentinian trip to the final.
Yeah, so Argentina in the final most likely for us. And then we've got Morocco versus France tomorrow.
I'd love it if Morocco got through.
Mate, someone tweeted earlier and they were like, what would you prefer? Ilias Chair to score a winner versus France? He hasn't played a minute of the tournament, but he did do that.
What boy?
Or QPR to beat Preston. And I don't know. And I think the Ilias Chair one just edged it for me because our fucking season's over, so I don't care.
Yeah,
but
QPR, man,
but yeah, no. For me, if Ilias Chair starts, Morocco win like 6-1. If he doesn't, I'm going to go for a France 2-0.
Yeah, I think as good as Morocco have been defensively, conceded 1 goal all tournament, and it was a fucking own goal. I think France have just got way too much for Morocco. Mbappe will get a couple, I reckon. I reckon it'll be a 2-0 as well.
Yeah, and then so yeah.
So let's say it is a France-Argentina final. That'll be a good final.
That'll be the best final we could get right now, I think, out of these remaining teams.
PSG colleagues in Mbappe and Messi.
Yeah.
Who do you think takes home the World Cup?
For me right now, yeah. I would love Morocco to win it.
Come on.
I mean, it made me embarrassed as an England fan that Morocco actually went on to win it. But I would absolutely love it for football heritage, football culture.
It'd be massive, wouldn't it?
But first ever African team to reach the semi-final and then just go on to win it. Unreal. But the football lover in me wants to see Lionel Messi united with the World Cup trophy.
Yeah, it's got to be.
It would just be iconic for all time. I mean, he already is the GOAT for me.
France have already won it, man. They won it like a fucking 4
Yeah,
years
let
ago.
someone else have a go, man.
Yeah,
Mbappe, bro, you're going to end up with like 5 of them, bro.
Yeah,
relax.
I want Messi to win it as well. And if it does get to final, I think France will win it. I think it'll be 2-1 France. But for Leo, I'm going 1-0 Argentina.
I think it's going to be a 2-0 France.
Yeah, I think France will win it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's sad.
But
That's not, then we get another banger tune like René La Coupe à la Maison.
big one.
There's massive. Play that tune now, Luke, in the edit. Bosh.
Yeah. If not, we got maybe Croatia versus France. France win it again for me.
Yeah.
I think France win against everyone apart from Argentina. Maybe Argentina.
That's the only close one.
Are the only ones.
Croatia, Morocco though.
Croatia, Morocco.
Talk to me.
If we get there, we live in a universe where this is the 1 in like 8 million.
Yeah,
like,
game's gone if that's the final.
Or
is the game so well?
No, the game is alive, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. Probably
I'd
Croatia.
love that. Morocco 1-0.
Croatia penalties.
Absolute scenes.
Heartbreak for Morocco in the dying embers of the game.
Sad,
yeah, penalties for Croatia. But yeah, let us know who you think is going to win the final. You'll obviously know. Let us know down below. If you get it right, Ruz will come and give you a leg massage.
Yeah, shout out to our live stream. That was weird, wasn't
it? But yeah.
Yeah, hope you all
We'll come
enjoyed.
at you before the final kicks off with a little preview, though.
Yeah, we'll do a final preview, and then we'll do like a end of the World Cup round.
Yeah, a little roundup, you know.
And then it's back to Premier League, mate.
And then we're back. Yeah, normal business resumes.
Let's go.
But yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys. It's been BoreDraw. Remember to follow all our socials. We've got TikTok, the Instagram, the Spotify. That's not a social, but follow our Spotify as well. Get those pods on while you're
follow everything, man. TikTok, all
in the description below.
Yeah.
If you're in our fantasy league, I did close the league.
I was going to ask you to close it.
Yeah, I did close the league,
nice.
So no more entries. But yeah, if you're in it,
fantasy.
you better be in it to win it because you're pretty much up
there.
I
think I'm like 30th.
30th in the league?
Yeah.
In our league? I thought you were like top 5.
Now I've had a couple of stinkers before the World Cup.
But yeah, so yeah, fantasy resumes again. So yeah, get your mojo back. Premier League will be back. Don't worry, England fans. The heartbreak only lasts for a while. We'll get over it. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys. It's been BoreDraw.
Bosh.
And it's live.